another set of general awareness questions from the series named 322 Important Questions from the General Awareness subject for SSC CGL and CHSL. So today is the fifth part of it, and in this section we have another 30 questions with explanations. So we'll start discussing those questions now. So here is the first question on your screen. Who among the following was the editor of a weekly journal, Young India? And the answer here is, it's Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi was the editor of the Young India. This is a weekly journal. He wrote various quotations in his journal to inspire many persons, and especially in this journal he has spread the unique ideology and thoughts regarding the use of non-violence during the organizing movements, and to urge the readers to consider, organize and plan for India's eventual independence from Britain. Now we'll move to the next question. Which of the following rocks does not fall under the category of igneous rocks? And the answer here is Gneiss. So the Gneiss is a foliated metamorphic rock identified by its bands and lenses of various composition, while other bands contain granule minerals with an interlocking texture. So it is a high-graded metamorphic rocks in which mineral grains recrystallize under intense heat and pressure. It is generally made up of different bands that differ in color and composition. Now we'll move to the next question. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution deals with the steps to separate the judiciary from executive in the public service of the states? And the answer here is, it's Article 50. So what does this Article 50 deals with? It deals with the separation of judiciary from executive, and the state shall take steps to separate the judiciary from the executive in public services of the state. It is a directive principle of state policy. Therefore, the Constitution is directing the legislature to maintain the judiciary independence. And if you look at the other option, the Article 40 deals with organizing the village panchayat to function as a unit of self-government, whereas Article 32 deals with the right to constitutional remedies, and Article 60 deals with the oath and affirmation of the President. I hope all of you are getting. We'll move to the next question. Who among the following is regarded as the founder of League of Nations? And the answer here is, it's Woodward Wilson. So Woodward Wilson is regarded as the founder of League of Nations, and the League of Nations was an intergovernmental organization founded on 10th January of 1920 because of Paris Peace Conference that ended the First World War. And it was the first international organization whose peace principal mission was to maintain the world peace. Now we'll move to the next question. Just keep on reading this explanations part. So the next question here. The 11th fundamental duty was added by Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. And the answer here is, it's 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. And it states that every citizen who is a parent or guardian to provide the opportunity for education to his children or ward between the age of 16 to 14 years, and the fundamental duties are defined as moral obligation of all citizens to help promote a spirit of patriotism and to uphold the unity of India. Now the next question. Under the regime of which of the following viceroys second and third round table conference took place? And the answer here is Lord Wellington. So under his regime, the second and third round table conference took place. The second round table took place on 7th September 1931 in England, whereas the third and the last assembled on November 17th of 1932. Now the next question. Which of the following is not an example of Lyophilic colloids? And the answer here is it's ferric hydroxide. So ferric hydroxide is an example of lyophilic colloids. They are liquid heating colloids. So here lyo means solvent and phobic means heating. So these colloids cannot be prepared directly by mixing the colloid with the liquid. Special methods are employed to prepare these lyophobic solutions, and additional stabilizers are required during their preparation. Right? So keep on reading this explanation part. If at all you are not getting time, you can revise later. Now we'll move to the next question. Digestion and blood sugar regulations are the key function of which of the following glands? And the answer here is, it is the key function of pancreas. So what does this pancreas does? It is a gland located in the abdomen with the two key functions, that is digestion and blood sugar regulation. So the pancreas makes the pancreatic juice and hormones, including the insulin and secretin. So the pancreatic juice contains the enzymes that helps in digesting the food in the small intestine, and the pancreatic enzymes and hormones are needed to keep the body working perfectly and correctly. And here we have mentioned the other glands and its function. Pituitary gland is directing the certain process and stimulating the other glands to produce other hormones, whereas thyroid is regulating the growth and development through the rate of metabolism, and pineal is regulating the ovaries and influences the biological rhythm, whereas adrenal increases the blood glucose level, blood pressure and cardiac output. Now the next question. Which of the following mountain ranges do not fall under the category of block mountains? And the answer here is, it's Andes. So Andes Mountains are an example of fold mountains. The Andes Mountains are the longest continental mountain range in the world. They form a continuous highland along the western edge of the South America. So the fold mountains are the mountains that form mainly by the effects of folding on a layer within the upper part of the Earth's crust. And block mountains, they are formed due to the faulting because of tensile and compressive force. And block mountains are surrounded by the faults on either side of the rift valleys or grabens. Now the next question. Which of the following do not fall under the category of ferromagnetic substances? And the answer is, it's copper. So copper belongs to the category of diamagnetic substances. So what is these diamagnetic substances? Which are repelled by a magnet. And whereas ferromagnetic substances, which exhibit strong magnetism in the same direction of field when a magnetic field is applied to it. And whereas paramagnetic substances, which are weakly attracted to magnets. Right? So we have discussed here three types of substances, that is diamagnetic, ferromagnetic and paramagnetic, and copper comes under diamagnetic substances. Now the next question. In which of the following years All India Home Rule movement started? And the answer here is, it is 1916. So All India Home Rule movement started in April and September of 1916 respectively by Indian militant nationalist Bal Gangadhar Tilak and British social reformer and Indian independence leader Annie Besant. And it referred to the efforts of an Indian nationalist to achieve the self-rule from the British Indian government. And Bal Gangadhar Tilak's group founded at Pune, that is located in Maharashtra, which concentrate its efforts mostly in Western India, and whereas Annie Besant's group set up at Madras, that is known as now Chennai of Tamil Nadu, had more an all India scope. Now the next question. Which of the following article of the Indian Constitution deals with the original jurisdiction and advisory jurisdiction in context of Supreme Court? And the answer here is Article 131 and Article 143. So Article 131 deals with the original jurisdiction, that is power to hear a case for the first time, and the first suit brought before the Supreme Court was between West Bengal and Union of India in 1961 to declare the unconstitutionality of a coal-bearing areas. And whereas the Article 143 deals with the advisory jurisdiction, that is power of a court to give advisory opinion and specific issues of law, and the power of President to consult Supreme Court. So just keep on revising once done with the classes. Now the next question, Buddha gave his first religious message at dash, and the answer here is it's Sarnath. So Buddha gave his first religious message at Sarnath. Buddha taught the Dharma in Pali language, and the first sermon of Buddha is called as such a big name, just try to pronounce it. Now the next question. So which of the following parts of the brain help in regulating the orientation and maintaining the equilibrium of the body? And the answer here is it's cerebellum. So the cerebellum helps in regulating the orientation and maintaining the equilibrium of the body, and it receives the information from the sensory system, the spinal cord and other parts of the brain, and then regulates the motor movements. It also coordinates the voluntary movements such as posture, balance, coordination and speech, resulting in smooth and balanced muscular activities. And if you look at the other option, the second option is given cerebrum. It helps in thinking, intelligence and memory, whereas the hypothalamus helps in body temperature regulation, whereas medulla oblongata helps in heart rate and blood pressure. Now the next question, which of the following subatomic particles is also termed as ghost particle? And the answer here is it's neutrino. So neutrino are termed as ghost particle as they are interacted very slightly with other particles, making them very hard to detect, and they can go through the people, worlds, even planets as if they were not there. So it is a subatomic particle that is very similar to an electron, but it has no electric charge and a very small mass which might have even be zero. So these neutrons are one of the most abundant particles in universe. Now the next question, which of the following terms is used to define as a line on a weather map connecting the points that receive the equal amount of sunshine? And the answer here is it's isohells. So isohells is a line on a weather map that connects the point that receives the equal amount of sunshine. It is a line of equal or constant solar radiation. And the other options are given. The second option is isohaline. Isohaline shows the equal salinity, whereas the isoclane shows the equal slope, and isohypes shows the equal heights of a given pressure level. Now the next question, DAS has the power to modify the application of the fundamental rights to the members of the armed force, police forces or intelligence organization to ensure the proper discharge of their duties. And the answer here is the Parliament of India. So the Parliament of India has all the power to modify the application of the fundamental rights based upon the armed force, police forces and intelligence organization to ensure the proper discharge of their duties and maintenance of the discipline among them. The Parliament by law may indemnify the persons of these forces for their acts. So in case of the disaster or other situations such as martial law and curfew, etc. Now the next question, DAS is the southernmost archaeological site of Indus Valley civilization. And the answer here is it's Daimabad. So Daimabad is the southernmost archaeological site of Indus Valley civilization. It is a deserted village and an archaeological site on the left bank of the Paravar river. This is a tributary of the Godavari river in Srirampur Taluka in Ahmedabad district of Maharashtra. And this site was discovered by B.P. Boparidikar in 1958. It is famous for the recovery of many bronze goods, and some of which are influenced by the Harappan culture. I hope all of you are getting. So we'll move to the next question. Glass is soluble in dash, and the answer here is glass is soluble of hydrofluoric acid. So what is this hydrofluoric acid? It is a solution of hydrogen fluoride in water. It is colorless solution that is highly corrosive, capable of dissolving many materials, especially oxides. And its ability to dissolve glass has been known since 17th century. Now the next question. Mahatma Gandhi in 1919 decided to launch a nationwide satyagraha against the proposed dash. And the answer here is it's against Rowlatt Act. So what is this Rowlatt Act? So the British government constituted this Rowlatt Act under the chairmanship of Sidney Rowlatt to curb the revolutionary activities, and this act restricted the freedom of expression and strengthened police powers. So on 24th May 1919, Satyagraha Sabha was constituted where Mahatma Gandhi was the chairman, and on 6th April 1919 was fixed as the day for the starting Rowlatt Satyagraha, and this day was observed as the National Insult Day. Now the next question. Huinsang, a Chinese traveler as a foreign envoy, visited India during the time of dash. And the answer here is it's Harshavardhan. So Huinsang around 630 to 645 AD visited India during the time of Harshavardhana, and during the time of Chandragupta Maurya, Megasthenes visited, that is from 302 to 298 BC, and during the time of Vikramaditya, Fang Hen visited, that is 405 to 411 AD, and during the time of Rudramadevi, Marco Polo visited, that is 1292 to 1294 AD. Now we'll move to the next question. The Tropic of Cancer does not pass through which of the following Indian state? And the answer here is it does not pass through Orissa. So the state that Tropic of Cancer passes through, those are Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. And if you look at the option, except Orissa, it is passing through rest of the other states. So we'll move to the next question. An organism having some characteristics of plant and animal kingdom is dash. And the answer here is it is Euglena. So what are the characteristics does Euglena has? It is an organism sharing both characteristics of plant and animal. So what are the plant characteristics of Euglena? It has a chlorophyll for photosynthesis. It uses halophytic mode of nutrition if light is present, and position of pyrenoid, and carbohydrates or food is stored in the form of starch granules. And the animal characteristics of Euglena are position of an eye part of a light deflection, position of pellicles, position of a gullet and a food reservoir, position of flagellum for movement, whereas the position of contractive vacuoles for excretion and osmoregulations. These are the characteristics Euglena has. So we'll move to the next question. Article 368 of the Indian Constitution deals with dash. And the answer here is it deals with the amendment of the Constitution. So the part 20 of the Article 368 empowers the Parliament to amend the Constitution by way of addition, variation or repeal of any provision according to the procedure laid down therein. So which is different from the procedure for ordinary legislature. Article 368 has been amended by 24th and 42nd Amendments in 1971 and 1976 respectively. So just keep reading the explanation part over here. So here is the next question. Arthashastra by Kautilya is related with dash, and the answer here is it is related with political reign. So the Kautilya's Arthashastra is related to political reign. Arthashastra is an ancient Indian treatise on statecraft, economic policy and military strategy written in Sanskrit. Now the next question. Amartya Sen was awarded the Nobel Prize for his contribution to dash. And the answer here is for his contribution to the welfare economics. For welfare economics and social choice theory, Amartya Sen in 1991 was awarded Nobel Prize. So the welfare economic is a branch of economics that uses microeconomic techniques to evaluate the well-being at the aggregate level, and the field of welfare economics is associated with the two fundamental theorems. Now we'll move to the next question. Human Development Index was developed by dash. And the answer here is it was developed by Mehboob-ul-Haq. So the origin of this Human Development Index are found in annual Human Development Reports of the United Nations Development Program, and these are the devised and launched by Pakistani economist Mehboob-ul-Haq in 1990 to produce the Human Development Reports. Mehboob-ul-Haq brought together a group of well-known development economists including Paul Stratton, Franz Stewart, Gottfried Gneiss, Keith Griffin, Sudhir Anand and Meghnad Desai. But it was the Nobel laureate Amartya Sen's work on capabilities and functioning that provided the underlying conceptual framework, and the term human development is corollary of development in the index. So the United Development Program published its first HDR report in 1990. Now the next question. Globalization means dash, and the answer here is it means the integration of the domestic economy with the world economy. So what does this globalization is? It is the increasing economic interdependence of national economies across the world through a rapid increase in cross-border movement of goods, services, technology and capital. So it has been largely accounted by developed economies integrating with the less developed economies by means of foreign direct investment, and the reduction of trade barriers, and in many cases cross-border migration also. Now we'll move to the next question. In which language were the early Buddhist texts composed? And the answer here is it was composed in Pali language. So the early Buddhist texts were composed in Pali language. At that time, Pali was the language of general people. Later, the Buddhist texts were written in Sanskrit also. So here is the next question. Which among the following is the sacred book of Buddhist? And the answer here is Tripitaka. So Tripitaka is the sacred book of Buddhists. It contains 3 baskets of teaching, a sutras of Pitaka, a Vinaya Pitaka and a Abhidhamma Pitaka. So the union of monks and their daily lives are certain facts that are mentioned in Vinaya Pitaka, whereas in Abhidhamma Pitaka deals with the philosophy and doctrine of Buddhism appearing in the sutras. And with this question we have done for the day. We'll meet next week with another set of questions. Keep practicing, keep reading and stay tuned. Thank you.